Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a GIMP tutorial, and basically what I'm going to be doing today is replacing this splash screen you see right here. I don't like it, so we're going to change it. Okay, let's give it a couple seconds and see what we can do. Oh yeah, good coffee. Alright, go to File, New, go 300 by 400. Okay, I think this box may look white on yours. I have mine set to black. I don't know why I did that, but anyways, you also notice that my GIMP probably looks a little bit different. The layer tool was over here, but I grabbed it and I moved it over here, and I closed off that lingering box that was just there for no reason. So now I have it like this. It's easier for me at least. So it should be almost the same as yours, more or less, how it works. Okay, now first we're gonna fill this black area with a nice color. So let's select your color tool. I'm gonna go with this blue. This is the color I'm using. Okay, now we're gonna select gradient, your gradient tool right here. Now go to the toolbox for the gradient, and we're gonna select linear to, now we're gonna, we're gonna select the radial. And for your gradient, we're going to go FG to BG. Alright, from the center, pull out to the corner. Right about there. That looks good. Okay. Now, make another transparent layer. Okay, now we're going to go to your toolbox. Now select your bucket fill tool. And we're going to fill it with a pattern, not a color. So select your pattern fill. Now select whole selection and just fill it. And be sure to click it back to the way it was before, because if you continue this way, when you use your bucket tool again, it's going to continue to fill it with patterns and not colors. So there we go. Alright, now on this layer dialog, we're going to set it to like an opacity level, but instead of lowering the opacity like so, we're just going to set it to soft light. So go to mode, soft light, and it gives a nice little opacity. Looks good. Okay, now let's see, what can we do here. Let's add some text, but first we should make a transparent layer. So there, transparent layer, add a text. Alright, type GIMP, G-I-M-P, close, and you can probably see that it didn't show up. It's like way out there in the corner, so we're going to have to move that. We'll move it in a bit. So go to the toolbox for your text layer. So we're going to, let's see, raise the text size. There we go. And change the color to a white, so you can see it at least. There we go. Lower down the text size. That looks good. Now we're going to move it about right there, more or less in the center. Now you're going to notice there's going to be a boundary on it. See this boundary? Now if you were to blur this image or add something to it, it won't cross that boundary and it'll look completely off and wrong. So what you need to do is make this boundary size bigger. And to do that, click back on your layer dialog, right click, and go to layer boundary size and upsize it quite a bit. Then click center, resize. Now you have all the space to work with on this layer, and when you duplicate it, this size continues. It duplicates the layer boundary size as well. Alright, now we're going to duplicate this text layer. And on the top layer, we're going to go alpha to selection. It's going to highlight the text. Now we're going to fill it with black with your paint bucket tool. There we go. Select none, Now we're going to go move this black layer underneath the white layer. So drag it down. There you go. See? But now we're going to make that black layer into a shadow. So go filters, blur, and Gaussian blur. Blur it maybe by 8 maybe. Okay. Then select that mode of that blurred layer to grained merge. There we go. Now select the white layer and we're going to make this layer soft light. There you go. Okay. Now on the blurred black layer we're going to move the shadow just a bit. So select your move tool, then go back to your toolbox and select move active layer, and then click anywhere in the box. Now with your arrow key, move it to where you think it looks okay. Okay, that looks fine. Okay. Now in the soft light layer above it, we're going to duplicate it one more time. Maybe one more. That looks good. Okay. Now we're going to again duplicate this layer one more time, but we're going to set this to normal. Mode normal. Now right click, alpha to selection, select, select shrink by 1 pixel. Now hit your delete key. Select none. Now you have a nice little white border going around it. We can also lower the opacity just a little bit. Give it a nice little look to it. There we go. That looks good. Now I want to add like a little highlight to it, like a little glassy look, like a shimmer or a shine or something. So on the layer below the outline right here, right click, add alpha to selection, select your triangular tool, go to the toolbox and select intersecting. Now highlight it about half. There you go. And I almost forgot, you need to make a transparent layer for this, so make one more transparent layer. It'll be in between these two layers. So that's good. Alright, now select the white color, select your gradient, go back to the toolbox, and we'll put it on linear. And your gradient needs to be FG to transparent. You can hold your control key to keep your pools, I guess, straight. See, if I let go, see what it does. So I'm going to hold the control key, make sure it's straight. Right about there. That looks good. Select none. And just do a basic blur. So go filters, blur. There we go, looks good. Now I'm going to make a little like a little frame around it. So let's make one more transparent layer. Press OK. Make sure that transparent layer is all the way on top. Now we're going to just select your triangular select tool, and we're going to select add to concurrent. Now go around the borders. Oop. Okay, just keep doing the process, going around. Doesn't have to be perfect, I just like doing this. Right about there, looks good. Now select your bucket tool and fill it with black. Duplicate it. Now fill it with white. Select none. Now on the black layer, we're going to go to filters, blur, Gaussian blur, and blur it maybe by 10. Okay. Now on the white layer, we're going to blur that, filters, blur, Gaussian blur, and blur it but not that much, maybe like 5. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to make a transparent layer, press OK. We're going to move it underneath the frame, so it should be underneath the black frame. Right click, add alpha to selection, now get your gradient tool, your ellipse tool, and we're gonna select like a not so perfect, kind of like off a little bit, kind of give it a nice little shine to it, I guess. That looks good. Okay, now we're gonna get the gradient tool. Hold your control key, pull up. Man, it's a little bit too much. Select none, filters, blur, Gaussian blur, maybe by 3. Then you go to your opacity of that layer, lower it down a bit. There you go. Now we're just going to save it. Save it as save as. We'll call it I think it's called GIMP dash splash, SPLASH dot PNG. Save. Yes, export. Save. Okay. Well, let me close this off. Go to my home folder. There's a picture we just made. Hold Control H. Type .gimp, GIMP. There it is. Drag the picture into that folder. Now start GIMP. And there it is. Alright,